Every prophetic person needs a mentor. Because if you're not mentored, then see, when a child is born, their destiny is in the hands of whoever that is carrying them and nurturing them. So, whatever you mold them to become is what they become. Now, watch this. Sometimes when you're having a baby dedication or christening, or when a child is born, they always tell the mother to be, especially if you're from Africa, Africans, believe in so many things. They'll tell you to be careful who carries this baby, because whether they are a person of light or darkness, they can easily see the future of that child. Do you understand? So now, if you are supposed to be a prophet or you have that gifting, that means your eyes is open. That means that you see further from a usual, further more than how a usual person can see. Your discernment is very high. And because you have that gifting, if you are not properly mentored from the beginning, what will happen is that you will deviate into even witchcraft and other things. Let me explain. You see, the person who operates in the witchcraft or psychic or whatever, they have a level of power. Don't forget that the power Scriptures tells us that the Lord is the head of all principalities and powers, right? So that means that other powers. And I hope you understand that the spiritual controls the physical. So while we are Christians, yes, but there are other people who do not believe in Jesus Christ. And so they still operate in that power. The power was not taken from the enemy. Do you understand? So that's why whether you're a Christian or not, if you work so hard, you will still be successful. In fact, most of the people in the world succeed more than the children of the light. But we'll go there maybe another time. I don't know. But I'm saying this to say that you may have that gift, in your eyes is open, you are seeing other things. If you are not nurtured and redirected to the eternal life, to the way of the Lord, can dabble into other things. That's why you see people who say they may be prophetic looking. They can tell you who you are, but their behavior is contradictory to what the Spirit of God should be. Do you understand? And so it's very important, if people like that, they have to be mentored. And your pastor cannot really mentor you unless he flows in that prophetic. Only a prophet, an apostle, can mentor a prophet. A pastor cannot understand it unless he flows in the prophetic. And I want this really very important. A teacher who does not understand the prophetic cannot mentor a prophet. In fact, I've heard a pastor, this may shock you, who believed that prophets only existed in the Old Testament. And this is shocking to me. And I heard that I was sick to my stomach, because you're supposed to be a teacher of the word. And if you don't know that prophets still exist in our, then that was a bit scary for me. So this is why some of these people, if they meet the wrong people, they will tell them you're possessed. And it's because, and they may be right to an extent, but if you're a leader, I actually expect you to read the whole scripture and know that, in fact, the spirit of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. Do you understand? So a prophet who doesn't know who they are shouldn't look for a pastor, should look for a prophet to mentor them, just like Samuel and Eli. There are so many of them, just like Samuel and Eli, right? That we have Elijah, Elisha, we have Joshua, we have Moses. Have you seen that you have to always have somebody you're looking up to who is working in what you know? And yeah, I think like what you're saying, I understand it to an extent, because I know even in my own journey, I remember when the Lord I started dreaming. I know you didn't ask me any of those things, but I started dreaming at a very young age. I can remember vividly at age 4 or 5. If I ever dreamt in the house, everyone would sit down and listen attentively, because it will happen. And I came from a Catholic background, so my parents didn't quite understand it, but all they knew is that my dreams do happen. So whenever I dream, everyone is very cautious to listen. When I finish telling them, then they know what not to do and what to do, right? Because I grew up and I joined the Pentecostal. Again, I was under a ministry which was, good ministry, but was led by pastors. So they didn't understand some of the things. I was a good Christian, loving the Lord. I didn't even know I had the prophetic, but I knew there was a knowing I knew, and my eyes was open, but every other person couldn't see what I was seeing. Do you understand? So I could easily see somebody with a problem or with an issue or with a demonic possessed person. I will feel the pastor should see what I'm seeing, but they don't. And because it's not that they are weak, it's just that it's not their area. Just like, so that's why the body is made up of these five people, the teacher, the pastor, the evangelist, the prophet, and the apostle. If all these people work together, which is the fivefold, it will bring clarity to the body. Do you understand? And so, what am I trying to say? So, for that reason, my journey was, took longer because, the people I was on that didn't understand some of the giftings, but it was good for the church because I would bring a word from the Lord. It was useful, but no one could actually really help my own person because they didn't know I knew I had a need. But I was functioning well, but I had deeper need that nobody could understand because I was, how will I put it? I was very useful. I wasn't weird. I was a normal person, but I knew that there was much more, but nobody could answer those questions. So it was the Lord in his infinite, in his mercy, led me to, my prophet who now raised me and mentored me to separate. So I was seeing different visions, which at the point I'm like, God, I don't know what you're showing me these things for. If you wouldn't help me, I don't want to see them. In fact, most prophets run away from that because it's a whole lot. But I stopped.